we are also here to learn more. And the next person to teach us more is Sissel Solem from the Trondheim Deaf Association. I've asked Sissel to tell us more about how is it to be deaf in Norway and in Trondheim. So I'm looking forward to hear what you will say. Sissel, varsågod.
Hvor var du fra?
Fra Trondheim døveforening. Yes, I'm going to present myself here. My name is Sissel Solem. And I come from the Trondheim Deaf Association. So I represent the leader today because he couldn't come, unfortunately. So I'm a member of the board. And the leader's right hand. So, what am I going to talk about? Well, I'm going to talk about deaf people in Norway. And I have to be careful so the TV... Yes, and I think then I need to tell about myself first. I wasn't born deaf, I became deaf. So I was born into a family of several deaf people. So I grew up with sign language as a natural language for me and my family. And so the deaf community and the deaf association has always been an important part of my life. When I started educating, well, I became a nursery teacher, a preschool teacher, and my first job was in the school for the deaf, as a teacher. And that's 20 years ago now that I started to work in the school for the deaf. So, for many years, I taught children, and after a while I eventually became a teacher for parents of the deaf, hearing parents of deaf children. So that's been my job for many years now. And when it comes to Trondheim Deaf Association, it was grounded in 1898. And it was the first association for the deaf in the whole of Norway. So, Norwegian Deaf a deaf association was grounded on our small association here in Trondheim. And that was in 1918 that we got the Deaf Association for the whole of Norway. And our Deaf Association used to be in this house, of course. And like this morning, the municipal representative, she said that Trondheim has been the deaf city and technical for the deaf, and that's correct, yes. And when I'm talking about deaf in Norway, I think it's important to say that we have a good standard for being deaf here in this country. Don't you agree? We have many possibilities and many rights being deaf here. Of course, there has been struggles to get there and to have these rights. And there are still, we have new aims for getting more rights. But I would say that we have a good life, but there are still struggles to take for deaf and hearing to be completely equal, equally treated. So I'm reflecting a bit. Rights. What do I mean by deaf rights? Well, they can go to kindergarten, they can go to school, and in the kindergarten and school, all deaf have the right to be taught and spoken to on sign language. And they have the right to learn about sign language, the history and the culture. That is the right that the pupil or the child have. and it's written in the law. And it's a part of the national curriculum that deaf have this right. And from 1997, this became the national curriculum, that deaf have the right to be taught on sign language and be spoken to on sign language. And when it comes to interpreters, well, we also have the right to have an interpreter when we educate, when we work, and also in our spare time. I don't pay. It's somebody else who pays. It's the government or the state. Yeah. So it's free of charge. Does it mean that we always have an interpreter accessible? No. Of course, there are times when we cannot have an interpreter, so it's important to educate more interpreters so that we can have enough of them. And I also thought about the television. You know, the subtitles, it can be hard sometimes to read the subtitles for deaf people. So the interpreter service, when it comes to television, has improved a lot. There is an own interpreter service in our state channel. Not for all programs, so we still have to struggle to get for all programs. But there are some hours every day. And for me, being a deaf, of course, I would like to have it all day and night, 24 hours. I could stay up all night and watch telly and get it on my own language. That would be the perfect situation for me. When it comes to education for the deaf, well, you know, we say in Norway we have the S jobs, like carpeting, because in Norway they all start with the letter S. Carpeting, sewing, and shoemaking. And I guess it's the same for your countries. That was the typical work for deaf people. And the last 10-15 years, deaf have educated themselves to higher education and become teachers, researchers, technicians, all kinds of work that you can imagine. So that's the situation now. And of course, for the deaf community, there are still challenges. And it comes to getting a job. Well, you can educate, but it isn't always easy to get a job. And there can be many obstacles for deaf people to get a job. They are not treated equally to a hearing employee. So the possibilities, the options aren't that large for deaf people after all. In Norway we are lucky because we have both high school and university college and university, and we have their own high schools for deaf. Or there might be a school for the hearing, but they have a own class for deaf students. And they use interpreter, and sometimes not. We can discuss the quality, of course, but it's a good offer. Here in Trondheim, there are lots of interpreters in the university college, and there is a own school for the deaf in this town. And as I said about the high school, the high school is deaf people from Trondheim don't have to travel to high school only for deaf people. They can be here in a class for deaf in the hearing high school. Let me see. You know this one? So catch my toe or something? Yeah. When it comes to education, there is a university college in Trondheim where many deaf students have been. And we used to have our own nursery home for elderly deaf people. So the municipal sorry, it's going to have problem with that word. Trondheim has built its own nursery home for deaf elders. And I think what is a success, or is a necessity for becoming a success, is that employees are deaf themselves, or that the hearing employees have good skills in sign language. If they don't have that, they should not be employed. And it's important to teach them sign language if they are employed, so that the sign language skills are equivalent to what the patient needs. So, let me see, are there any more? Yes. Sign language. I want to talk a bit about sign language. In Norway, the Deaf Association has fought for many years to have sign language recognized as an official language for the deaf, or a Norwegian official language. And 2 years ago, we sort of got that. It's not officially, but it's recognized. So it's a recognized, one of the 4 recognized languages in Norway. And Norway also has a language council, the Norwegian Language Council. And it's, you know, the 4 languages is Sami, and Norwegian has 2 different written languages and spoken languages, and then you have sign language. So that's very good. And also, the new happening is that there is a deaf woman employed in this board, the Norwegian Council. So that's a new thing. So I feel we are taking one step at a time in the right direction. And I was thinking about theatre, because in Norway we have theatre for the deaf on its own, and it's called Theatre Manu, M-A-N-U, and the sign is like this. Say it again. Theatre Manu. Theatre Manu. They just had recently had the jubilee, 10 years jubilee. So it's 10 years old. The National Theatre for the deaf, the sign language theatre. And all the actors are deaf themselves. And they of course use sign language, and they function as a traveling theatre. So they travel around, a tour theatre. And they use Norwegian Sign Language only. And they set up different acts for both children and deaf. And hearing audience can come too, of course, but it's the language is sign language. But they do have a interpreter, actor reporting, like saying, voice-overing the whole play. And last, the Theatre Manu and the National Taught Theatre, I think would be the correct word. They had a cooperation together and did this very good act. And I think it means a lot for us deaf people. And I'm not sure if you've heard about this person. He was called Fritz Moen. He was a deaf Norwegian, he's dead now, but he was prisonized for killing 2 women. And after many years, they found out that he was actually prisoned innocent. He hadn't done the 2 murders, and he was eventually became free, acquitted. So the play was about him and his struggle. And the theatre had actually 2 hearing and 2 deaf as a result from this cooperation, playing together, acting together. So it made us deaf very proud. When it comes to deaf children and the school for the deaf, the parents in Norway, they have the right to be taught for 40 weeks during the child's upbringing. So the parents, from the child is born and they discover that the child is deaf, the parents learn sign language and about sign language for 40 weeks altogether. The Deaf Association in Norway, we have been doing many fights, and one is about how do we want the future to be. Earlier on, the deaf didn't have the driver's certificate, for example. Now everybody has that. But we still can't drive the minibus. So that is a fight that we still have to do. I remember a bit amusing. My dad, he was deaf, and when he was 60, he eventually got his driver's license. But he was never allowed to drive alone. He always had to have a person next to him, a hearing person, of course. So. And after a while, he could drive on his own. Today, as a result of that fault, we can drive, but we still can't drive the minibus. So that's one obstacle. Will that be the correct word? And I don't know, I think I've said what I planned to say, so if you have some questions or some... Oh yeah, Thomas here tells us about... It's a special system in Norway. We have a boarding school for the deaf. It's called Folk High School. It's not a college, it doesn't give you any credits or anything. It's a boarding school for the deaf, run by the deaf. Here in Norway, at AL. A-A-L. Somebody wants to have a bit of... she was... Suddenly just the door opened. Everybody looked what was going on. This school is not more than a school. It's well, deaf and hard of hearing. People who are from 16 and up can go there as pupils, and they learn sign language, and they can also join different courses. And also parents of the deaf children, or deaf parents who have deaf or hearing children, can go there on different courses, join different courses. Sign language, and also grandparents can come and learn sign language. And of course, for the whole family, when they have a deaf child, the whole family should be able to speak the same language. So this school encourage and take care of this teaching, are responsible for this teaching. When it comes to the schools for the deaf, like primary schools, in Norway we had 4 schools for the deaf the last years. But recently 3 of them was closed down. So there's only one left, and that's the one here in Trondheim. And I think the main reason for that is because of the cochlear implant that many children get. When the child is born, it's very normal now in Norway to give the child a cochlear implant. And that makes the children, after a while, be integrated in the home school, while they before used to go to the school for the deaf. The Deaf Society has fought a lot about this. We don't mean that children should not have operated implants, but we think that the bilingual approach to education is very important, and that you should never have either or, but both. The main hospital in Oslo, Rikshospital, like national hospital, is the one that has been mainly doing lots of operations, and the surgeons there have done a lot of advertising on how important it is to only have the oral approach when a child is operated, which is completely different from what the deaf community and the deaf association means. So, as you can understand, it has made the deaf schools, the consequence was that we got less children to our schools. And, well, in Norway is a long, long country, and it's far from each place. Like Trondheim, which is placed in the middle, we are responsible for all the children living up to the furthest north. And the children had to come here and stay in boarding school, and we still see that there has been good results from children going to these schools, but it seems the politicians don't want to listen to that side of the story. So the government and the state has decided that it's going to be like this. Only one deaf school is remaining, and of course this is still a big struggle, like the main cause for the deaf society, to how to make this situation change or become better. But still, I want to say that I hope you understand that we have a lot of possibilities in this country, like deaf people have a good life, but there are still things to be done and struggles to be made for us to become equal as the hearing part of the population. Yes, wow, I think that was my 20 minutes.